This is Kilo 4 Pop Echo Whiskey. Is a frequency in use? Please dial 911 first, and then we can take it from there and help you out of it. And the net may be broken anytime from emergency traffic. Right now, you can look on the web, on YouTube, and into the YouTube search block, and you can see what your signal strength looks like compared to others. You can also hear stations you might not otherwise hear. Figure out what, which is sometimes helpful. You can also go to Google and put MJSS into their search block and bring up our site for some email sites. You can sign up for the email. Sign up with the email, you can get it on. You don't have to get it every day. You can sign it up for when you can get it when you want it. But selling equipment your system mostly. or Tuesday and Saturday night, as well as at 7:30 night for YRF. Does a 10 meter net on 10 meter upper side band, 10 meter FM, and 223.415. Tonight we're doing the net on here on 146.415, and then we're moving over to 23.415. Figure out what we're doing. Yeah, figure out what we're doing. That's what it is. We're trying to figure out what we do. Figure out how we can make our antennas and our radios work. This actually, today is the end of our 9th year on the air Wednesdays and Sunday night. So it's our 9th year of doing twice weekly nets, but end of our 9th year, starting our 10th year. And I appreciate everyone who's participated. Purpose of the net is to have fun, just like I said. Everyone for amateur radio events and activities, announcements. I don't have anything specifically other than that this is the, like I said, end of the 9th year. We just had a nice breakfast this morning. There was about 7 of us in there this morning. The place was pretty busy. Anybody else got anything else for announcements? I just mentioned, you missed it. I said 9:30 p.m. Sunday, Michael KM4YRF, 10 meter net on 28.415. I already mentioned it. You must have missed it. That was Michael trying to figure out why I didn't announce his announcement. So make sure to be there twice on Sunday night, twice at 7:30 p.m. 28.415 upper side. Now FM, if you had FM, you can also do that because he follows that up with the 10 meter FM on 29.415, and then that goes over. There were 415 crazy. Any other announcements? We'll be starting out from the north, like well, not even say, we're in net number 936. Nice. Versions are all multiples of 3. Well, 2 of them are multiples of 3. First, we're going to take mobile. People short on time and first time check-ins. Please come now.
Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. I need to be a short.
Very good. That was Michael KM4YRF. Everything okay?
Yeah, we're finishing up the demo on our deck, so the deck guy can start the.
Oh, very good. Hope it looks nice when you're done.
Oh, it will. It's going to be screened in and everything.
Oh man, like a regular mobile home with a screened-in enclosure.
Absolutely.
Very good. That was Michael KM4YRF here in Mount Juliet. He's about a couple of miles east of south of 40, on the other side of the expressway. Who else is or mobile or first-time checking? All righty, we're just starting from the north then. Please come.
Hi, Romeo Kilo.
Good to see you this morning, Frank.
Good to be seen. I haven't been on a breakfast in who knows how long.
Just like old, well, we didn't, we recognized you.
Oh, yeah. Only Frank.
Yeah, that's right. No, it wasn't a very good likeness, though, on the shirt, I got to say.
He loves that shirt.
Oh, is that right? Where does he live? Oh, he still lives up in Chicago?
No, he lives.
Oh, that's right. You have to live in Florida if you're from one of the big cities, like Chicago or New York, once you get sick and fun.
Yeah, it's like a requirement.
Mother and Dad were down there. Yeah, it's funny how I did just the opposite. I retired and I moved up north.
Yeah. Well, you know,
What I'm going to do, I'm going to retire and move up north. And I did. I didn't mean it. It wasn't planned that way.
well, you know, to be honest with you, back, you know, back, you know, everybody either moved to Wisconsin or to Florida. It was either move north to Wisconsin or move down to Florida. That's usually one of the two things happen. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I mean, I always joke about, you know, every time the change of seasons, you probably, you know, I-75 is.
Well, what's funny is it? I said, no, you need to move to Fort Lauderdale. Heavenly, heavily Spanish speaking, and Fort Lauderdale. I'm not parts or stores in Fort Lauderdale. You thought you were in the metro New York because everybody had an accent like New York.
Yeah. No, even would run into people in New York.
Spring Hill area, west.
And my parents would be like, "Oh yeah, those are neighbors." Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny, really, because it doesn't. When you retire, it's in the 60s or whatever. It doesn't leave.
No, and it's funny because they're just like, you're actually from Florida. You know, almost everybody.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's so many. I lived in that area. I lived in Florida for 36 years, so it's not like but very that I knew well. There was a few. There's a few people that were born and raised there, but along the coast, it was predominantly. You find most. Well, I don't know if most is the right word, but a lot of the natives of Florida lived in the middle of the state.
Yeah, and they moved to Ocala now. They're in a neighborhood that's mostly like native area where they're at. So they're over there, and what was their thing? They're like, man, we didn't know how many different kinds of animals are over here.
Oh, Ocala is really nice. I mean, it's much more, much more rural up in Ocala. It's much more Florida than Newport Richey or Port Richey.
Yeah, they're liking it over there because she didn't want to be by where they're at, and so they found, plus it's lower cost. To get a hurricane came and we didn't.
That area problem. I went in. I had to go in there and get some. In here.
It's funny to hear. My parents are fairly getting up there, and it's funny for them to say, "Oh yeah, those are the older people over there." Oh yeah, you're right. Anyway, thanks for doing that. I'll turn it back over to KV9RKK.
Well,
there's Tennessee, right?
no, I'm a Hoosier. And we got that name because they kept saying Hoosier.
That's right. I forgot that you were a Hoosier from Indiana. It's a neat place to be from. You don't hear that many. Well, aside from the Indianapolis, what's the Indiana corn? I mean, there's some other things. Don't put like one of those states you don't hear a lot about.
Yeah, you're right. Even when you're there, a friend of mine, you were talking about people in Florida. A friend of mine come to the villages, and I think they got like 45,000 houses down there. The capital of the world.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Well, you talk about the villages that are between Tampa.
Yeah, south of Ocala, between there and Orlando and Disney World.
It's a fake community, is what it is.
Yeah, it sure is big, though.
Look up the villages on the west side, northwest side of Florida, and it is just nothing but home. It's all residential, 99% residential, and it's just jam-packed with really nice homes in relatively small lots. It's predominantly for retired people and over 65 or over 55, I'll say. But it's not where I want to live.
No. No, that's not where you. Sure.
Don't make me laugh. But my mother-in-law in Clearwater, Florida, and she lived in an apartment where it was mostly retired people. I forget the name of the place now. It was a whole complex, retired, just apartments. And she used to say, "Oh, there wasn't as many men as there was women, which is fine." And she was 80 something, and she said most of the men, she goes, when they're at the clubhouse with her, he goes, I don't want to see their chest sag over their belt line.
Oh yeah. Well, that kind of happens to both to talk about it.
Oh no, that's right. No, it was just funny how, and she said one of the funny parts of it is the guys were reasonably, you know, a available and B in good shape. They would be people, other ladies would be delivering them food at their house, trying to woo them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But anyway, congratulations on time.
Yeah, like I told you, and I think it was in the email. It's longer than my first marriage.
Well, I don't know whether that's a good thing or not.
It was like my brothers asked me about the second marriage. She goes, "How long were you married?" I said, "In today's world, that's a success story."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see, 7. Of course, not to the same wife.
No, I know what you're saying. I was first married in '69, and then got married again in '80, whatever that was, '83, and then again 12. Anyway, anything else, Mark?
Nope, not a thing. Carry on. Talk to you later. WB0NO.
Good. It was Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar in Northwest Wilson County. Who else is north?
KE4TWL.
Okay.
Yes, everything over here is doing good. Just before the net, I saw the fly with the sky. There's about 40 of them. It seemed like from Elon Musk. But no, it's a good night, cool weather, good day for 10 meters.
You did hear some good stuff on 10 meters so late this evening?
Yeah, I mean, in the morning it was Europe. This afternoon it was West Coast and Australia.
It also seemed to affect whatever the conditions were. It seemed to affect earlier on the DMR net. Everybody was loud, which isn't always true.
So I don't know about our locality, but as far as number, I think it was well above 100. It was obvious. So good day. I even got a nap in. So success. KE4TW.
Yeah, very good. That was West KE4TWI. He's up in north of up towards the lake, northwest Wilson, I guess it is. Who else is north?
KO4OTV.
Hello, boy, you sound good today there, Joe.
Oh, good. Yeah, I thought something was wrong with my radio earlier. I swear, I bet I checked in every single time somebody else did. Apparently, because I mean, I couldn't copy, but Charles and you, I think. But every time I'd key up, I just thought, well, there must be something wrong completely because. And sure enough, Charles chimed in, and he could hear me, I guess, every time, but it was kind of comical.
Well, he didn't think I could hear you, but because you were closer, and whoever you were doubling with wasn't Charles.
Oh, no question about it. No, it was all I heard.
Yeah, very good. No, it was all good. It was a good net, really. We had 7 of them.
Yeah, that's I guess that's not a record. I think it's as high as we've gotten, correct?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. Is it 7 or 8, maybe?
I was trying to think if I had heard one that had 8 in it, but yeah, 7's a good number.
Well, it is, as we again, that was in the first year. It was probably 7.
Right. And that's how it goes. I mean, people just start I've talked to many people around town that didn't even know about this, and I've told I don't know how many people just in the last 2.5 years. And it's kind of a rare thing when you think about a simplex net or a simplex site. I haven't seen any that are even close to this one.
No. What you need to do is, you know how you attract more people? We're doing a simplex that, and they go, really? What day is that? I don't want you there, okay? We don't need you. Just don't come.
So man,
Yeah, say, listen, no, we don't really need any more of it. We don't care how good you are.
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think it's amazing, and it's been on 9 years already. That's crazy.
Well, I guess that makes me crazy.
Well, in a sense, I guess, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, I think we are a little crazy at some point.
I hate that it just says his Paul's contribution to society was a simplex net in Middle Tennessee.
Over 100 on
it. I mean, what's funny about it is that there's a little bit of truth in it, contribution to making a net go that long. But it is funny how, we always make a big deal about, I'll say, the whole world is made up of people who just doing good stuff along the way, and whatever they do, whether it's at work or whatever. I think about people that they're not famous at all in terms of their contributions to the family, people, and nobody knows their name.
Oh, absolutely, and you know that's kind of the way I am too. You know, superstars a lot for my job, and it's like no big deal. I'm just not one of those stars. I'm down there at Garth Brooks. See him, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week. Heck, we do work at his house. I was in there. I wouldn't even make eye contact with him. I just acted like, I was just some guy there doing work. He's like, hey, let me, I need to. He's like, I'm Garth. I said, I know who the hell you are. Who doesn't know who Garth Brooks is? Yep.
You should have said, who?
Yeah, it was kind of comical. He's actually seems like a really nice guy, though, and he seems fairly down to earth, so I about him.
No, I don't. No reason to. Well, again, like I said, we tend to is the word that comes to mind. Lionize these people who are famous, who do nice things, or the big guys. But the fact of the matter is, I can't even. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands and even millions of hardworking people who are plumbers, electricians.
Oh, there's no question about it. And and they're all in there working together and to make this in a very short amount of time. And there's a lot going. It's I've never seen anything like it. Far as the way it's been wired, I mean, the electricians had to take even all the law. So every location for your wireless APs, your cameras, your POSs, your whole 9 yards, all have a pipe all the way from its location all the way to the closet. And the only time I've ever seen that is in like an ORs, but even that doesn't come out to the tray and then you pull it in from there. So it's very unique to say the least.
Wow, yeah. Man. Big deal.
Oh, it's insane. And it would have made our job, this would have been the easiest job I'd ever done if you didn't have you got too many engineers involved and too many rich people involved. And they constantly make changes, and it's crazy, to say the least. I mean, you're in there pulling through conduit, and then you'll pull out of the conduit because it wasn't even the right wire to begin with because it's something different, and it's all on these iPads. So you got to go in there and update it every day and make sure there's nothing changed. And even then, it doesn't even mean anything out of spite and haven't even put it on the print yet. So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's funny. For anyone who doesn't know what a home or that any wiring work, it's something that goes from the point of use all the way back to the main panel, wherever that is. And that's how the pipe work.
Oh yeah, it looks like a big giant jail cell all the way to from the the ceilings, in the first story. because it's got like a balcony thing up there, and which now they're so you can't see a lot of it anymore. But yeah, it's the guy started. I think he's been there a year and a half so far running conduit. They've had just like 2 months just worth of change orders alone. It's been a nightmare for them. And I don't even like talking to the guy because he's early 60s, and he just seems like he's just uptight all the time. And you don't want to ask him anything because you don't know what you're getting. I'm sure his head's spinning off his shoulders at this point.
Yeah, it's all work. And everybody who gets those changes, it's just more overtime sometimes.
Yeah, but these guys have been there so long, they just want out, and I don't. Very difficult with all that piping. Say you've got to change, all this other stuff. Well, all these pipes are in the way that they've already added. Well, if they change something else, they just leave the pipes that are there. They don't take it out, so it gets extremely tight.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Joel.
No, that's it, Paul. I'll see y'all on 6 KO4 OTV.
Yeah, very good. By the way, what's the name of that?
It's Garth Brooks's bar, Friends of Low Places, down on 4th and Broad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Garth Brooks associated. That's awesome. And plus, they were putting in something else. What else were they putting in? Another big. Maybe that's the one.
Well, Bon Jovi's building another even bigger one, like next door to it.
Oh, you know what's next? The stinking casino.
You can't do anything down there. It is right now. You might as well put some slots right on the street, and that'll keep the homeless busy.
You keep the crooks busy too, the pickpockets. Anyway, that was Joel, KO4 OTV. He's up in west of Ashland City. Who else is north or west?
KC4TNQ.
Oh, so you're doing okay? Haven't heard this. Today was the first I heard from you in about a week.
Yeah, like I told Michael earlier, I've been working a lot. I didn't get home till after midnight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes for a long day after midnight. Holy crap.
Yeah, but appreciate your determination and perseverance in holding the net for 9 years.
Oh,
Wow, I'm going to have to start up one.
It's funny. Nobody gets out of ham radio without spending a lot of money. So you wish you got paid.
This is true. Yeah, I don't think I'm buying anymore. I'm just intending to work from now on, right?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. When you said I'm not buying any more radios, I'm going, no, me neither. Because there's no other modes I'm interested in, quite honestly. I mean, I've had enough. I mean, this is modes or like getting into some other. My wife said, "Hey, I see a 800, 900 megahertz radio." So I go, "Yeah, so."
Yeah, of course, if I was able, a TS990 Kenwood would be nice, but that's in my dreams, I guess.
Those $8,000? How much are those?
I think they're over 8, probably around 10, maybe something along that.
If you added up, my first 4 vehicles didn't add up to $9,000.
Well, I'm probably right there with you because I ain't had a car note and I don't know when.
Anyway, I was relatively new in ham radio. Somebody had got that 10,000. It was an Icon, and I go, wow, why would somebody buy $10,000? I mean, I've seen all kinds of contesters do very well than that. He goes, just bragging rights. It's the only reason.
Yeah, Roger. All right, Paul, I'll let you get on with it. I know you. Anyway, thank you for being there, and congratulations, KC4TNQ.
Very good. Thank you, Charles. Kilo Charlie 4 Tango. I was in West Nashville. Who else is, he's not buying any more radios. Neither am I. Who else is West?
4 ILV, Jack and Donaldson.
Even if you don't check in, I'm writing your name down. Waiting for you. I thought it was going to be you, and Charles popped up first. You're just being too polite.
Well, I can see him going for the microphone just there before I did.
Yeah.
Congratulations on 9 years, Paul.
Yeah, I guess so. It was, well, it's like a lot of things. It doesn't seem like much until you go day by day, week by week. You don't give it too much thought. But as I look and I go 936 nets, I go, holy crap, that's a lot. It's a lot of nets.
Start figuring up the hours.
No, I've been through that drill too on a couple other projects I've worked on over the years. And somebody asked me how much work even if I knew, I'm not going to tell you. It's just you'd think I was a fool.
Well, good to see everybody there at the break.
He's in Donaldson, Kilo Go for India Lima Victor.
KK4. Canadian UT.
Well, there was two in there. I had, hold on one second. Carl, and I also heard, was it KK5S? Was that you? No, who was that KK?
KK4. Old Hickory.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, all I heard was the KK, and I wasn't sure who it was because of the double. Let's take you first. How you doing there?
I'm doing pretty good. Made a little change since last week. Got the antenna up on a more permanent mount on some coax. Come in for feed line and get that all tidied up and a little more permanent. Really, really fun having more than just the handheld.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've actually been hearing a decent number on my side of town. Even some of the guys in Mount Juliet, sort of this side of the hill, this side of the mountain, as it were, made a errand run over there to Mount, and really put it together. You're on some real high ground there. You've got a good location there, Paul.
Oh yeah, it's one of the higher, at least on this west side of Mount Juliet of Wilson County. Before because Davidson County line is only a mile to the west. There's some equally or better higher ground over there south of 40, over toward Gladeville. It's higher.
Yeah, it's funny. Basically, any direction I go, it seems like I'm headed upwards. So, I'm not in the best spot. Working fine.
No, that's right. In fact, that's the thing is, it's even if you the X700, while you'd hear a few more stations, it's tough when you're dead at a lower elevation. So you just have to live with what you got. That's the point. You say, okay, that's what I got. I'm not moving just for ham radio.
All due respect.
Anyway, everything else okay? Take off. Oh, he dropped out. Anyway, that was Daniel. Kilo 4 Hotel Sierra uniform, and he's in Old Hickory. I heard who did I hear in there? Carl. There he is. How are you doing, Carl?
Hey, doing good, Paul. Yeah, I couldn't hear Daniel at all. Yeah, roger that. Well, good to hear you tonight. Thanks for doing the net.
Yeah, very good. That was Carl. November 8, November uniform tank. Who else is the west? Anybody else else? West or south? It's going pretty good. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful day, that's for sure. And I appreciate your 9 years of service, Hope.
I thought being, when I went in the military, it was my 4 years of service. It seemed like forever. And I've been out of the military now for...
That's a long time. You still got real fresh.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, there's a little bit of fading in there. No, it's actually, I'm wrong. It was from 72. So it's 51 years. My mistake.
Well, I'm looking forward to your 10 years in Simplex Nets.
Yeah, we're going to set a new...
That, man. And I appreciate what you do. And 7th grade, everybody on that camp point 10.
Good. That was David, KI4, November Delta, November. Kilo India 4, November Delta, November. One of the early supporters of the net. Sometimes for other people listening. people who are new to ham radio and they're trying to figure out how they can get on the net. And there are several that have tried over the years and they've gotten better too. I'm one west or south.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Very good, Larry. I did get that number right. Good. That was Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo. Hello, Jimmy. What's up?
Much here, Paul. Just another wonderful day here in Woodbury.
Hey, somebody told me this breakfast that Harley was going to start building nothing but electric vehicles, and I go, that's going to be hell on the Hell's Angels.
Oh, they can enjoy it. That's all right.
That's what I'm saying. Is, but you know, you used to be able to hear. Well, you do now. You know, you hear a motorcycle entourage out there, and you can hear them coming a long way ahead of you. You know, just with electric, what are you going to hear? Whoosh.
Slight hum and a whine, maybe. Vehicles across the board, let alone and electric hoverboards. You get a couple miles out of, but that's about it.
Yeah, but the question would be why?
I don't know. I've played with electric scooter before, and if you want to zip around a neighborhood, I mean that.
Yeah, I guess I just can't imagine to the northwest to a big, something 1,500 miles away on an electric bike and having to stop every 4 or 6 hours to recharge it.
I can, a couple minutes of gasoline or diesel. It just doesn't make very much good sense, and they're trying to push it unwanted, and I'll watch it happen right before.
Well, that's what's so, I'll say, troubling is that you don't see it directly, but all of these battery plants and all these operations are all heavily subsidized by your tax dollars.
Yep, they're subsidized to begin with, so they take that money, subsidize.
Well, what's funny, I theorize, you said if somebody was, if you get stuck with nothing but electric cars, so then somebody who's poor goes, man, we got to, you only got a junker. If you have an old junk car, internal combustion, at least you can do something with it. If you have an old junk electric car, you go for $15,000.
Yeah, it doesn't make it does. Electric vehicles came out originally earlier 1800s, from what I've heard, but nobody wanted it, so therefore it wasn't viable. So the advance, not like gasoline engines. So here you have it. That's you got what. And these people who don't even use them or don't even have a need for them are trying to shove it down our throat.
Well, the irony of that whole situation is that we're still, in the short term at least, 40 or 50, we're still going to be producing electricity with about 85% coal, gas, and oil. What the name, Ellison Airport? I don't know which one it is. Alaska is putting in what they call a micro nuclear power plant up there to supply the base because it's so remote.
Oh, I believe it. Good idea.
Oh, it's an awesome idea, and I wish they do more of it, because you look at the, in particular to the Navy, nuclear submarines and all of the aircraft carriers of the past vintage. I don't know when that started, but actually nuclear power started in the 1960s with the yeah.
Oh, I agree. We put them on the ships and on with the net, doing a good job.
Yeah, that was Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Julia. That's Jim down in Woodbury. Who else is south?
KG4 CXE, Chris in Rural Hill.
Hello, Chris. Now, you're gonna make it to a breakfast one of these days. Get out of bed.
It's always so busy. Honestly, I'm slowing down this weekend. We went and canoed last weekend. We're on vacation. Yes, but I agree. I will make it there.
Well, it's like I told my wife, I go, it's hard to believe. She was talking about you having to go. It's hard to believe I haven't.
Every day, I try not to think about it, but sometimes I'm at home, and working, and sometimes I'm there. So at least it gives me some balance. But I don't think about it from previous, you know.
Nah, work is still good though. Work is good because it's a sense of purpose for that 8 or 10 hours, and it's a sense of being a contribution to whatever the company or the society or the profits or your paycheck or whatever it is. But it's all work is good because people enjoy working. Ultimately, they'll tell you they don't, but they enjoy working.
I agree. It's healthy to do.
Yeah, camps and that they were working gives them a purpose. When I say the work camps, the concentration camps and or the POW camps, you give them jobs so that they keep them occupied. Otherwise, you sit around. I know, man. Every time I had idle hands, I got myself in trouble. Anyway.
Well, that's all I've got, 73, and glad to hear that it's 9 years. That's awesome, man.
Oh, it's unreal, really. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine back, really. It's hard to. What happened in between early and now? Just a lot of stuff. A lot of flapping my jaws here. Anyway, Golf for Charlie X-Ray Echo. Who else is south or east?
Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Echo Tango, another Chris.
Go India.
Hold on. And the other Chris in rural.
Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit, though. I'm mobile. I'm actually just heading on South Mount Juliet Road right now.
Oh, yeah. Big signal in here.
Only like, what, a mile and a half, 2 miles from you?
Oh, yeah. Where about, how far south? Because sometimes when you get down in that hole, it gets kind of ugly.
No, it just came out of that hole. I'm about the Central Pike now.
Oh, yeah. That's like going up a mountain there.
Mount Juliet, man.
No, I know. I'm just saying where Central Pike meets Mount Juliet Road, it's very, when you look down, it seems like you're looking way down.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Anything good in your world?
Yeah, just coming home from my party with her friends and stuff. They all dressed up and went to the China buffet. So they dressed way over the top for the China buffet, but it was fun. Now we're having a sleepover and eat way too much ice cream cake and etc.
Oh yeah, stuff in our faces as usual.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm over the years my father had the same issue. As he got older, he didn't care about sweets.
Yeah, I've been not eating. It is odd how we go away from that, isn't it?
My wife brought home some cake from a party they had at work and had that real thick, really rich frosting. He goes, aren't you going to finish it? No, I can't. It's going to make me sick, man. It's so rich.
Yeah, it's too much we do here. And you know what? When I was stationed in Germany, their desserts were just the right amount of sweetness, and you didn't feel disgusting after you ate it.
Well, they don't want to.
There's that.
Anything else within that, there, Chris?
No, sir. Congratulations. What did you say? 8 years? 9 years? What was it?
9.
Congratulations on 9 years running this net. No, I have nothing else. 73 here, everybody. Have a great.
Well, to be fair, and I think Michael might not be on the air right now, but Michael also there's a while ago, but Kevin is filled in for as who else? Eddie over here in Gladeville has filled in for me. I'm trying to remember if there was anybody else. But anyway, like when I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, it was a little tough to do the net from a hospital room.
You didn't try hard enough.
Yeah, an antenna outside up on the roof. Anyway, that was Chris in the rural here. Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Echo Tango.
It's a nice day. My wife
here. A new one?
Yeah, in 0710 engineering, and been waiting to put it up. So I thought I'd do it this weekend when she wasn't here because she told me.
Yeah, well, it could be dangerous. Where'd you put it?
I just rented out my window. I got a bonus out back there.
The last one I put up, and it is somewhat of a temporary installation. The antenna that I had used, and then it failed again. That out of the top of the trees, and she's like, that's not hurting anything. Their view of the trees.
I know my neighbors probably thought I was a little strange because it's a very thin wire. It's like 16. I mean, it's not gauge wire, that I ran for that window, and I was in it, my jazzy chair, my little electric wheelchair, basically going down the fence row, slow fire till I got to hook it up to the back fence. They probably couldn't even see me when they were probably wondering what I was putting, ringing, slowly reeling out through my hand.
Yeah, no, it's people who aren't involved at all in amateur radio. They can't figure us out anymore.
I know UHF, VHF diamonds on their backyard, and I was on the fence, and I had a guy stop the other day, and he ain't done nothing with it for years. I was going to get.
That's funny. Yeah, no, people. Yeah, nothing wrong. It just sounds funny when people say that, but it's true. That's what they're familiar with. There's a whole different world of ham radio.
I know that when I first got into ham radio, I said something to my neighbor across the way. This will all be messed up now when you start playing with ham radio.
Yeah, that's true. That's what they think. I could interfere with them if I really tried hard, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, at that point in time, I was still doing digital DMR stuff, and so it wasn't going to mess with their digital TV anyway.
No, of course not. But everything else going okay for you?
Doing all right. Haven't gotten in trouble. I'm doing okay.
Well, just don't go out the door. Just stay in the house.
There you go. She'll be here tomorrow morning to start telling me what to do.
You can start being productive again. I know when my wife was out of town for a week, I forgot how long it was. Earlier this year. But the last 2 days, I had to hurry up and clean up the house.
I know she called me this afternoon, and she was a little bit mad at one of the ladies she went with, that she was just telling her how to drive. So I said, "Yeah, don't you hate those backseat drivers that tell you how to drive when you're a backseat driver?"
Yeah, they do. You're right. Well, I'm so used to driving, it doesn't bother me. I just ignore them, I think. Anyway.
KK5S.
Hello, Karen.
How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing. I ate too much this morning, so I'm not sure I'm going to have anything more to eat. Put too much food down my gullet.
Understood. I didn't even eat any lunch. I just come home and work putting my fence back up. It's been down for a while.
Fence is it?
Oh, it's just a field fence over there on the corner of the side of the pasture. I had to take it down because it got took down by, and I just have been I've been lazy and just haven't gotten it done.
Yeah, well, it's funny how it's not imperative that they be done. Seem to be put off.
Well, yeah, since I don't have any animals out there, it's been a big deal to try to get it done.
Oh, well, I had been through that with my fence over a few years ago when the fence was kind of, it hadn't bought the new fence yet. But like when the tornado, or when the high winds or tornado came through and it tore up the vinyl fence, so I looked and oh man, now the fence is down. Now I got to do something, and I had to get some of the, some and cover the gaps so I could put the dogs up.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I was trying to stop before I finished because I tried had two fence stretchers pulling together to try to get it back to where I could lace. One side broke, and as the chain went flying past my head out into the field, try another thing another day.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's funny how some things don't seem to they either hurt you or they go flying past you at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I ain't got nothing else for the net to check in and say thank you for the net, and I'll return back to you, KK5S.
Very good. That was Kerry and Baird's Mill, Kilo 5. Who else is east or north? East or north or anywhere?
W up here in Angeltown, Mount Vernon, Bethpage.
Very good. How you doing there?
Trying to relax and stuff. And, being kind of busy a little bit off and on and everything else. And I don't know. You hadn't from them yet, have you?
No, it's on the way back. I guess it'll be Monday or Tuesday or something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Although video I got, so maybe I'll sell it.
Oh, what are you talking on?
897D. I'm sure you're familiar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got an 857 sitting on the shelf above the 2000 here. So same radio, different case.
I have two, and I'm telling you, I love the 850s. I used it in the car so much that because the controls are much more compact on the radio. So I just became, it was just like second nature to me. The whole.
Oh yeah. Well, one question: how old is your 857?
I bought that in.
Have you ever had the top off of it?
Oh yeah.
So, it hurt you to go in there and look around the speaker. They got foam around that. That foam will just start disintegrating on you. That's what happened on mine here. I took mine apart and I thought, whoa, what's going on here? And I thought I'd take it apart and clean the side of it, even though it's sitting in the house all the time. And I found the foam that was around the speaker deteriorating away, and that's what was speckling off down into onto the board and everything. So I cleaned it all up, and I had some more foam. It was the same thickness and everything, and I cut it out and replaced it. Just made some new foam and stuff in there. So I thought, look out for that every now and then. You might want to pop the top and take a look at that because it will deteriorate apparently. But I've got a FT100 D sitting above the on the shelf above IVM over service monitor. This of mine down here not a couple of years ago down to seeing him, and every time I go in there, he'd go, I still got that radio up there. It's in the box, and that, finally I said, well, you want to sell that radio back to me, So I ended up buying the radio back from him, and I traded for him years earlier. It had just sat in the box all them years, hadn't been out or nothing. Went in and changed the memory battery on it, and I'm trying to remember what it is, but is in there. I guess I never spoke years back at the house, so I don't know. It's kind of weird how things like that happen, but I don't know. Anyhow, the 857, I haven't had any trouble out of it other than that foam situation. I was kind of, but that's something I would kind of take a look at every now and then. I've got a Sony ICF 2010, and it's got two sets of. You got 3D, 2 AA's for the memory backup in it, and you need to pay attention to those AA's once in the past, so I know that every once in a while I pull the batteries out of it and make sure that they ain't started linking or anything like that. I had to clean all that mess up, get it back, and I don't know, radios, they have to be maintained, I guess. Anyhow, I guess I've talked long enough. Hope everybody else is having a good time. And I'll turn it back over to you, KD4 VW.
Yeah, very good. That was Carlin up in Angeltown, Bethpage. And that's uniform whiskey. I even noticed on something I hadn't had a part in a long time. It wasn't a radio. It was something, I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was an old camera. It was the L4s or whatever they were starting to show signs of deteriorating. And I was glad. Anyway, I can't believe they put AA's in a radio, because I would arbitrarily change those every year, I think. Anyway, that was who else is any place anywhere?
KI4S, BKI4SOR, and I'm gonna tell you that houses at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then get real disappointed when you go see it in person because the pictures that you had online ain't no fun, and that's the reason I wasn't at breakfast. Good morning.
Oh, very good. We just wish you were there, but that's good. I mean, if you're looking to buy a house, right?
Been looking for about 6 months, and it's been a roller coaster. I mean, a real roller coaster. You get your hopes up thinking you found the right one, and it ain't all it's cracked up to be, or just there's all kinds of things that come into play. But yeah,
Yeah, I know the drill. It's just a terrible place around Middle Tennessee to look, though, too, because prices are not cheap.
yeah, determined that I'm going to have a good high spot to talk radio off the top of, and that is proving to be a neat trick to see online. I just the wide angle lenses make rooms bigger than they actually are, and they don't tell you about the flaws. Of course, they're not going to, but when you wallpaper that's been painted over, that's not something. And the back deck, as big as it was, the railing about it to fall off around the edge. You got grandkids, you're not going to have them run up against that. So you have money sometimes after you buy a house to be done. Do a lot of that right now.
Well, what you do is if you see something you really like, but it has some of those superficial flaws, you know, like wallpaper and painting and trim and deck rails and stuff, you know, it's not the whole. Okay, look, it's I'm going to drop it. I'm going to make you an offer for $15,000 less than what you're asking.
Well, in this particular house, they put it on the market originally. This was back in August. First put it on the market for $700. For a course of 6 weeks, 2 months, they've 84,000, and I wouldn't give them free for it. I'll put it that way. Hey, I4SIB, turning it back over to you. Thank you, everybody, and I'll write you later. Talk to you. Bye.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's a hell of a change from. He was dreaming. He was hoping so again. Anyway, that was Richard and Stephanie. Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo and Kilo India 4 Romeo. Anybody else? Any place anywhere? Last chance for Lolly. What is it? Okay, it's true. Lurkers, lollygaggers, and sandbaggers. Usually that drags somebody out of the woodwork, but I'm going to move right on. We had 20 in here tonight. Appreciate everybody checking. Anniversary or so, 90th anniversary week, I'll call it. We're going to move over to 144-240 unless I hear somebody complain.
You can say I4SIB.
Yeah, but they got to either drive by and honk, or they got to email me or text me or something. Listen, flat earthers and preppers too. Anyway, and people in Lebanon. 144-240. This is Kilo 4, Pop Back and Whiskey, Mount Juliet, Simplex Radio, 144-2 North. Hold on one second. Okay, that should be better. I was on the wrong one. It's K4PEW, Mount Juliet, Simplex Radio Net on 14240 or so. Looking for check-ins from the, where did I say? From the north.
84 VW.
KD4VUW. That was Carlin up there in Bethpage, Angel Town. Delta 4VUW. Who else is north?
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo.
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo. Frank there in Northwest Wilson, or Northwest Mount Juliet. Who else is north? Or west?
AG4 LV.
Very good. We got Jack there in Donaldson. Kilo Go for India Lima Victor. Who else is west?
TNQ.
Very good. Charles, you sound good. Kilo Charlie 4 Tango in November, Quebec. Who else is west? Of course. Anybody south? Please come now. And who else is east?
KG4 CXE.
Hey, there's Chris. Kilo Go 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo. Who else is east?
M4, wow, are you?
You got that deck all taken care of?
Just about. We're just finishing up.
Oh, very good. Because I was going to send a file.
Well, my son has kind of taken over, and he's got this job under control.
Oh, man, you're almost 60.
Yeah, somewhere along in there.
Very good. That was Michael KM4YR. Who else is south or east? Or anywhere in the sound of my signal. All righty, we're going to move right over to 50.135, unless I hear somebody complain. Very good. We're going to move right there. Appreciate the check-in. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on 144.240. 35. You're right there. Okay. All right, this is K4BW looking for check-ins from the wherever I was, north. Wow, signal today there, Frank. That's Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo. Frank here. Who else is north? North or west?
Kilo Oscar 4, Oscar Tango Victor.
Oh, big loud, Joel.
Oh, good deal. Yeah, I've been down and in on 40 meters with some guys.
Very good. Now you're doing a good job. Oscar 4, Oscar Tango Victor. Hold on. I heard you here in there real well. I want to keep on right on the money on this particular mode. It's on this band. So anyway, that was Kilo Charlie. Who the heck is Charles in West Nashville? KC4. Who else is west? We'll go for India Lima Victor. I'm trying to keep my eye on SWR here. That was Jack and Donaldson. Kilo go for India Lima Victor. Who else is west? Or south? South or east?
KM4YRF.
You don't sound like you're too tired from KM4YRF. Who else is east? East or north or anywhere? All righty, a whopping 6 on. We're going to move right over to 223.415. Have a good night. B4BW. There I am, net control for Mount Juliet. Very good. We got Frank in there. Kilo Bravo 9. Romeo Kilo. Who else is there?
K4VW.
All righty, Carmen. Appreciate you being there. KD4 Victor, Uniform. Bethpage, Angel Town. Who else is out there?
AG4 LV.
Kilo Golf. That would be probably ahead of my mind's eye. You didn't know it. It's something fixed in your head. Anyway, who else is on the frequency? Kilo Charlie 4 Tango November Quebec. You also sound very good to me. Anybody else? Yeah, we had a pretty good night tonight, I think. It's only 7 minutes after 9 or so. We had 20 check-ins on 2 check-ins on 2 meter upper side band and 6 check-ins on 6 meters. And that's funny, went from 7 to 6 so far. Anyway. Anybody else checking in here on 223 4
Well, we only had 3 on people right now.
There were 7 on DMR, and there were 6 on D-Star, and 3 on C4. And that's soon to be, by the way, my radio's on the way back.
Good deal, then give us one more.
Add the Donnie with the radio here.
Get back to work, so I'm going to leave with 73 and KF4.
Should know better than to lie like that.
I'll be out there now.
Yeah, very good. All right, hope it works out well. Don't hurt yourself. Very good. Anybody else out there tonight besides myself? We got Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo, Kilo, Frank in Northwest Delta for Victory Uniform Whiskey, Carlin, and Beth Page, Angeltown area. We got Kilo Golf for Indiana Victory, Tango, November, Quebec, and West Nashville. Is anybody not hearing all the other stations? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one goes to Michael KM4. I screwed up my numbers here because all of a sudden we got was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 numbers, and then 4, 5, 6, and nobody else. About 220, there's still a couple of missing that would normally do that, but we're doing fine. Time maybe when we hit the 10-year mark, even now. But anyway, because essentially that I'm aware of, nobody in 220 Simplex that whenever we started the 600, 2 meter net, whatever that was, So it's kind of interesting that we're not really blazing new, certainly opening up something that hasn't been open for a long time. Make that's right. No, it's all good. I'm glad we're able to communicate on all these different ways and videos and just, well, it makes it a lot more fun than just and that is a beautiful thing, is that everybody, unless they're working their hands, you can hear them perfectly.
That is true, but we can do that ourselves.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's. I think I prefer, as you know, I would prefer not to do that. I have worked on for different reasons, at least over a wide range of areas. So, elevation at 1,200 feet or so on the west coast. And so you can have people checking in from 40, 50, 60 miles away, and it got to be a regular Friday and Saturday night. It was the repeater would have, for transmit time, and some Friday and Saturday night, not during drive time, but for instance, the 6 to midnight, it would have 70, 80%. There could be so many on there just goofing off and talking trash to each other, just having fun.
Things to do Well, you're probably going to find some.
Well, actually, there's some hams. Whatever. I mean, that's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's like, I want to talk to local people. I want to talk Africa. And then some of those people are kind of like ham hermits because they just sit in the radio and like try to contact people, which is fine. You know, that's what they love. I'm happy for them. It just, it's like you said, there's an area for everybody.
That's like 10 meters in. I started hanging around me. I have to keep second. So, now I enjoy it more than I did.
Again, yeah, local is nice because you actually get to know.
Just like it's the extension, so on 10 meters.
Oh, and plus that's why Sunday nights when there's more people on the air, that's why, and the band is open Sunday nights. Microsoft stage, it's fun.
KG4 ILB, I get the better ID.
Yeah, wow, nobody's here to listen to us. K4 PE. Anybody else checking in? We'll take foreigners from outside your group. No, foreigners being people we haven't talked to before. But we know there's some people that K4 PE. I haven't had scanner listeners on HF, but I've never had them to meters or 77 meters or whatever. Well, kind of. Yeah, we have that consumer. I forgot to close down.